My dear friend, let me take a moment to sit with you in this quiet space and share something truly important from the heart of heaven. Imagine, if you will, a gentle voice breaking through the noise of your everyday life. A voice that carries the weight of eternity but wraps it in the softness of a father's love. That's how this message comes to you today, through the mighty presence of Archangel Michael, whose strength is like a mountain that never moves, yet his words are as tender as a whisper in the wind. God himself is reaching out, not because he wants to startle you or fill your mind with worries, but because there's a special kind of hurry in the air around your soul. It's like when a loving parent sees a child about to step into a puddle they don't notice. The warning isn't to scare, but to guide safely across. So, lean in close, breathe deeply, and let these words settle into your spirit like rain on dry ground. They are meant to ready you, to wrap you in safety, and to set the stage for the beautiful shift that's already stirring just out of sight, in the hidden places where heaven moves mountains for those it loves. Picture this, right now. As you read or listen, Archangel Michael is standing tall before you, his eyes full of fierce compassion, holding a sword that glows with the purest light imaginable. That sword isn't for show. It's alive with power, cutting through shadows like sunlight through fog. And around you, he's drawing a circle, a ring of holy fire that dances warm and bright, so alive that no hint of darkness, no whisper of harm, can even come near its edge. This isn't some distant story from old books. It's happening for you in this very moment. Michael leans in and says with a voice steady as the stars, "My dear one, this feels like an emergency, I know, but it's not here to shake you to your core or leave you trembling. No, it's heaven's way of sounding an alarm, a clear signal that something sneaky was lined up to trip you up, to cause real hurt. But listen to this truth that echoes from the throne. God saw it coming from miles away. He stepped right into the path of that trouble, like a shepherd pulling a lamb from the jaws of a wolf. What the enemy cooked up to shatter your peace, it's flipping right now into a ladder that lifts you even higher. Those tears that might have fallen in despair, they're turning into songs of joy that rise from your lips unbidden. Look around you. The world keeps spinning, people rushing here and there, coffee brewing, phones buzzing, life looking as ordinary as a Tuesday morning. But pull back the curtain just a bit, and you'll sense it. In a spirit world where eyes of flesh can't see, there's a real tussle going on. It's a fight, fierce and focused, over the quiet corners of your heart, the peace that lets you sleep sound, the safety that guards your steps, the purpose that lights your days like a steady flame, and the destiny God tucked inside you like a hidden treasure. There are shadows out there, fed by envy that twists like vines, deceit that slithers quiet as a snake, and betrayal that hides behind friendly waves. Folks who waved hello this morning might carry plans in their pockets that sting like hidden thorns. Smiles that seem warm could mask words sharpened to cut deep. But here's the comfort that chases away the chill. God hasn't missed a single syllable spoken against you. Not one fleeting thought aimed your way. Not a single scheme hatched in the dim light of resentment. Heaven doesn't sit idle, twiddling its thumbs. Oh no, it's roaring to life, a symphony of justice and love. Hear it now. The trumpet blasts clear and strong, a sound that ripples through the realms, calling warriors to the front lines. Angels, those messengers of mercy with wings like woven light, are dispatched like an army on the march, their steps silent, but their presence a thunder you feel in your bones. Archangel Michael, the captain of this heavenly host, turns to you with eyes that see straight to your soul and says, "Child of the Most High, shake off that shadow that's creeping close, trying to brush against your shoulder. Its hour is up, done and dusted. The blaze of the Lord's own fire has you hemmed in tight. No gap, no weakness, just pure, unyielding warmth. Maybe you've been carrying a weight lately, like an invisible backpack stuffed with stones, or perhaps there's a nagging sense that the air around you hums wrong, off-key, like a song started in the wrong place. That's no accident, friend. Your spirit, sharper than you give it credit for, has been tuning into frequencies others miss entirely. You felt the rumble of that gathering storm in the unseen, the kind that stirs leaves before the rain hits. But hold this close, etch it on your heart like a promise carved in stone. Storms don't show up to uproot what's truly planted. They come to show off the roots, deep and wide, tangled in the richest soil heaven could provide. And you're planted firm in God's own garden, where nothing shallow can sway you. You're not wandering this path solo, not for a heartbeat. That heartbreak, that sharp twist of fate someone scripted for you in the dark, it won't land, won't even graze your skin, because God's hand, strong, scarred from love, steady as the dawn, is already out there, palm wide, blocking the blow before it flies. But here's where you lean in even closer, because the days stretching out ahead aren't your run-of-the-mill stretch of time. They're laced with movement, a holy rearranging, like furniture shifted in a room to make space for something grand. Heaven's at work, plotting your course anew, curving it gently away from pitfalls you never saw coming. There was a huddle once, in places thick with gloom, where your name hung in the air like smoke from a bad fire. Schemes were sketched, nods exchanged, all aimed to pull you low. But before a single step could echo, before the ink could dry on their twisted map, Michael swooped in like lightning cracking the sky. He snatched that plot right out of the shadows, held it up to the light, and declared your name before the very throne where grace flows endless. Your tears, the ones you shed when no one watched, they're vials of gold now, poured out as proof. Your prayers, whispered raw in the quiet, their echoes still ringing. Your faith, that quiet flame you fanned when winds howled, it's the testimony that tips the scales. God thunders from that high seat, lay not a finger on my chosen one. Bring no hurt to the one I call mine. And those who dreamed of dragging you down, they'll blink and find the ground shifting under them. God's move so vast and sudden it'll rewrite their stories in ways they couldn't dream. Secrets festering in the quiet, they'll spill into the sun like water from a cracked jar. Kind words that veil knives, they'll peel back, showing the blade for the fool's prop it was. You're crossing into a wide-open field of truth now, where every snare laid in your way snaps empty, every trap springs harmless. Freedom isn't coming, it's here, rushing in like a river after drought, washing clean every hidden corner. But pause with me here, because the heartbeat quickens. This is the pulse of real urgency. That shadow heading your way, it didn't stumble blind into your life. No, it was crafted careful, pieced together with threads of jealousy that burned slow, missteps nudged by unseen hands, and manipulations that twisted spirits like ropes. Someone close, maybe the last face you'd suspect, let a root of bitterness take hold, cracking open a door they thought locked tight. That sourness invited in a chill wind, one that tugs at your emotions, trying to pull you into a whirlpool of doubt and drain. God speaks soft but sure into your ear. Guard your heart. Don't let their honeyed talk sway you like reeds in the breeze. Watch for it. A note slipping into your inbox, a ringtone breaking the silence, a knock that surprises at your door. The face might beam kind, but underneath, a tangle of fog and crossed wires. Michael raises his voice, clear as a bell. Tune your ear to the hum of their spirit, not the polish of their phrases. Feel the undercurrent, the quiet pull. Heaven's bending low, arms outstretched, to spare you a sorrow that serves no good. This looming cloud, this big wave of trouble, it's not crashing to bury you under salt and foam. It's rolling in to shine a lantern on faces around you, to light up loyalties true and false in stark relief. The first sting might bite deep, a gasp of hurt that leaves you breathless. But lift your eyes past the ache, and you'll see it for what it is, a cloak of safety stitched from threads of revelation. God leans in, voice like balm. Nothing slips from your grasp that was forged for your forever. If pieces tumble, if bonds fray and snap, it's heaven's gentle hand letting the brittle break free. You've got ties woven loose around you, folks drawn to your glow not for the warmth of your heart, but to borrow the spark for their own dim lamps. Their veils will slip soon, faces unmasked in the light of day. This isn't a slap from above. No, it's a washing, a sifting through the silt to polish what's pure. Every drop you've wept, every quiet sob in the shower or stare at the ceiling. Heaven's ledger holds them all, tallied with care, each one a note in a song of response yet to play. One day, not far off, you'll glance back over your shoulder at this bend in the road and whisper, "Ah, there it is, the pivot where heaven grabbed the wheel and steered me true." Michael's gaze holds yours now, steady and kind. Easy now, precious one. No need to clutch at panic like a lifeline. This is your wake-up hour, the dawn of seeing clear. Rest quiet, but keep your senses sharp like a deer in the meadow at twilight. The skies above are patrolling your every footfall, eyes keen, hands ready. Start lifting your voice in prayer with a fire that's fresh, words tumbling out raw and real. Picture it. Angels circling your doorstep like sentinels in the mist, wings folded but alert, watching over the ones you hold dear, the road you tread, the beat of your own faithful heart. A barrier of light, strong as fortress walls, is thickening around you, layer by layer. If your eyes could pierce the veil for just a second, you'd catch it. Bursts of white like fresh snow, gold like honeyed sun, swirling round your name in the book of life, batting away darts of muddled thoughts, spiteful talk, and jabs at your joy. That scheduled sorrow, the one with your name on it, it's skimming past like thunder that rumbles but never strikes, diverted by the mark of blood and promise over your door. You're held back, cherished, for a rise that's scripted in stars, greater than the last, brighter than you dare dream. God murmurs close, breath warm on your neck. I've stamped you for heights divine, and that's precisely why the shadows snarled and snapped. When treasures big as yours draw near, the air stirs wild. That choppy sea? It's no reprimand. It's the roar that says your harbor's in sight. Waves crashing loudest just before the calm. The foe always digs in deepest when the gift is knocking soft. But heaven's chorus swells. In a breath of days, a knot that's tugged at your peace will untie itself, smooth as silk. The spot that pushed you aside, it'll beckon you home with open arms. Doubters who shrugged, their tongues will shape your name with a nod of awe. Yet in this waiting hush, this sliver of now, don't let the flame of trust flicker low. Michael presses urgent. This alert rings sharp because heaven craves your ear today. Right here, in this tick of the clock, not pushed to tomorrow's edge. There's a letting go you need to embrace, something to loosen from your grip, to sidestep a scrape you don't deserve. Could be a habit that nips at your heels like a stray dog, a chat that leaves you tangled, or a link that's frayed thin under God's quiet tugs. That nudge inside, the one murmuring, "This doesn't sit right. No peace in these waters." It's no trick of the mind, no overthinking shadow. It's the Spirit's gentle hand on your elbow, steering clear of the blaze. Heed it, friend. That inner ping is your compass, true north in the fog, pulling you from the line where lightning waited to fork. By leaning into trust this instant, you're scripting your story afresh, line by line, in the ink of grace. You might spot it unfolding, a hold-up that stretches time like taffy, a plan evaporating like morning mist, a turn in the trail that startles. Don't buck against them. Don't dig your heels in the dirt. These aren't walls thrown up to mock you. They're scenic routes hand-drawn by the divine, bends to keep your wheels steady on safe ground. God's rewriting your map, one careful stroke at a time, to cradle you from the brink. You're threading through a field laced with hidden snares, but ahead of your step, unseen hands are sweeping clean, plucking thorns before they prick. Moments will cloud your view, swirl you in a mist of why, but anchor calm in your chest. You're ringed by wisdom vast as the sea, timing from above that's never slipped a beat. The breath of God fills the air. I am your shelter from the rain, your table in the wilderness, your hush in the gale. When the earth quakes underfoot, your roots hold fast. When crowds scatter in frenzy, you'll find a pocket of still, cradled in arms that never tire. You've been picked for a path that climbs high, your shine so bold it could light 1,000 rooms. Fear has no claim on that blaze. That's why Michael keeps threading courage through your thoughts, a steady hum. Brave heart, stand tall on what you know is true. You're wrapped in company eternal. You're threading through a field laced with hidden snares, but ahead of your step, unseen hands are sweeping clean, plucking thorns before they prick. Moments will cloud your view, swirl you in a mist of why, but anchor calm in your chest. You're ringed by wisdom vast as the sea, timing from above that's never slipped a beat. The breath of God fills the air. I am your shelter from the rain, your table in the wilderness, your hush in the gale. When the earth quakes underfoot, your roots hold fast. When crowds scatter in frenzy, you'll find a pocket of still, cradled in arms that never tire. You've been picked for a path that climbs high, your shine so bold it could light 1,000 rooms. Fear has no claim on that blaze. That's why Michael keeps threading courage through your thoughts, a steady hum. Brave heart, stand tall on what you know is true. You're wrapped in company eternal. Heaven gets it. Fear slinks in like fog at dusk. Try to fog your sight in these thin hours. But fear? It's a smoke and mirrors trick, a shadow play to blind you to the solid rock beneath. That plot the darkness drafted, it only gains ground if you hand over the reins to dread. But the second your lips form, Lord, I lean on you, the tide turns swift. Dread crumbles like dry leaves. Gloom fades to vapor. The ranks of light close tighter, a phalanx unbreachable, and peace, oh, that deep, river-running peace, floods back like home after long roads. You're not marked for ruin. You're primed for rescue, hauled from the waves onto shore. Soon, mark my words, a night will wrap you soft, but sleep evades a restlessness like wings brushing the edges of your room. Don't bolt upright in alarm. It's just the finale, heaven snapping the last rusty link chained to yesterday's hurts. You might catch echoes odd in the quiet, surges of feeling that swell and recede, visions in dream that paint vivid as day. But rest in this. God's combing through, gentle but thorough, sweeping every speck of old ache that dare trail you forward. Michael posts watch through the long hours, a sentinel whose vigilance never blinks. Darkness won't brush you. It's turned back at the gate. Dawn's edging closer, pink on the horizon. But remember, nights deepen their black just before the break. That forming trouble? It'll buckle under truth's weight, heavy as mercy. Schemers will turn on each other, voices rising sharp in their own tangle. Bewilderment will send them scattering like leaves in gusts. Their webs will fray before fingers touch thread. God will hush their murmurs to nothing, drag their cloak and dagger chats in a broad noon. You won't lift a fist. The skies wage war for you. Your trust has been hammered on an anvil. Your waiting stretched like dough, but you're etched in memory divine. The courts above have watched you guard your tenderness amid the whirl, choosing grace when grit would have been easy. You could have soured like milk left in sun, but you poured out kindness instead. Vengeance tempted, but you knelt in talk with the stars. That's the obedience that unlocks floods of aid from on high. A force mighty as rivers is loosed your way, rushing to fill the dry beds. In a stretch ahead, Emotions might roll like tides, depths of blue chased by skies clear and sudden. Don't push back. Let them flow. It's the great healer at work, mending splits long ignored. You might find salt on your cheeks with no clear why, a swell from nowhere. Those aren't fractures, they're freedoms, sloughing off the grime of old skirmishes so your spirit inhales deep, unfettered. You're not splintering, you're sprouting anew, petal by petal. Michael nods solemn. When solitude bites, lay palm to pulse, breathe my name aloud. I'm a breath away. Do it, and watch. Glow will gather round you like fireflies at dusk. A bloom of heat in your core, heaven's nod that says, held, every inch. That cloud once crowding your sky, it's veered off course, intercepted mid-flight, harmless now as distant thunder. But heaven still calls for your voice in prayer, because those words you weave keep the guardrails firm. Daily, fling light ahead like seeds. No scheme sticks, no arrow lands. God affirms, I've set watchers at your side, for journeys winding, nights deep, words winged, visions wild. You'll not trip, not tumble. Crooks in the road? Iron them straight. The hum round you turns expectant. Brace for graces unasked after fog lifts brief. Kindness from faces unknown. Thresholds creaking wide you swore, bolted forever. Signs, all, that the vow from above takes shape, solid as stone. Know this deep, dear one, Michael doesn't trumpet alerts for sport. This press means wonders afoot, vast as horizons. Approving ground looms, one to sift allies wheat from chaff. When it cracks open, hold tongue, withhold proof, let silence be your song. Heaven will clear your name, loud as dawn. Twisters of fact? They'll snare in their own coils. You'll climb as they blur to backdrop haze. Justice, pure and poised. Sorrow flips to story, etched in gold. Survival? No. You'll flourish wild, roots drinking deep from the source. Gazes will turn your way, hungry for the how, and your reply simple as breath. The Lord walked it with me. That echo will kindle sparks in souls adrift. Your life, a lantern proving guard from above, walks real. Don't let gray steal your gaze. Even in pitch, gold gathers unseen. Weary to dropping? Murmur soft, carry me, Father, and feel the lift. He never leave kin to trudge solo through squalls. Trials tick down, yours winding to close. Michael's close for tonight. Inhale slow, safe one. The gale glimpsed you and veered. Anchor, trust skyward. Eyes wide for graces unfolding like flowers in sun. The divine's beside, breath to breath. Nothing sours your tale. Held tight, cherished full, warded sure. Lean in, lift voice, unfailing always.